Hello and welcome to another edition of ProtoMet's First Impressions, where I give my thoughts on the first episode of any new tokusatsu show. Kamen Rider Gotchard is finally out, so let's talk about that first episode. Honestly, a good chunk of this first episode kind of reminded me a lot of Kamen Rider Saber's first episode, with the whole introduction to a kind of more fantastical world. So there's that. But with a number of differences. We also get introduced to the, I assume, lead villains of this story. A trio of women, girls, who are doing something nefarious. I don't know. Some fantasy world called Ouroboros or whatever. We get tiny monsters called Chemis, which are trapped in cards, I guess. Kind of reminds me of Yu-Gi-Oh! Our main character is basically trying to find his inspiration, his gotcha. And I've heard people comparing him to Sogo from Kamen Rider Zeo. I don't quite see that. I mean, I can kind of understand that, but he is certainly a quirky high school student type character. But Sogo is for sure determined that he's going to become a king, whereas this character Hotaro definitely feels unsure about where he's going with life. Mostly because it feels like his whole deal is that he's just doing and experimenting with stuff until he can find something that clicks with him, that gotchas him. And here I went into this assuming that it would be gotcha themed, like those mobile games where you just pay money to get card packs, and it's basic, but we play with it a little bit since all the chemis, the monsters, are from cards. I did find it a bit interesting that one of the very clearly major antagonists of the series ended up turning into the monster of the week. I'm aware that this is not how I normally do my first impressions. Normally when I do my first impressions I give the plot and thoughts, but things happened a bit fast, and while I was able to keep track of what was going on, I don't really have much in the way of saying what was going on, if that makes sense. It made sense as I was watching it, and trying to piece it together after the fact, I'm coming up short, is what I'm trying to say. Certainly it seemed interesting, and I'm hoping that we're going to have a fun season. Maybe something with a bit less of a serious tone to it. Granted, I had kind of hoped that would be the case for Kamen Rider 01, and that certainly wasn't quite the case. Probably get serious at some point, but for right now, I'm hoping we get something like a Dano or a Forze or a Double, something that we can have some fun with, so everything's not dour and serious all the time. That's a train ate a person. We saw a train eat a person. That was fun. One of the Kami monsters, Hopper 1, they had a physical prop for that. I want one. I want one. I hope they sell a toy of that, because I want one. Where would I put it, though? That's the question. But, yeah, it certainly looks like it's going to be another card-based season of Kamen Rider, which doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad thing. We've had some good card-themed seasons. We've had Blade, Decade. I could have sworn there was a third one. But I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, card theme. Inevitably, we're probably going to get some cards based on the past writers, because that seems to be the trend of the past, decade. We get some gimmick item that interacts with the belt that's based on past writers. That's nothing new. I'm not even entirely sure why I'm mentioning it. Probably going to be movie exclusive or something. Yeah, right now I don't really know what to think other than that alchemy, magic, Renaissance stuff happens. There's this one girl who is clearly going to be a major character whose whole deal is that she doesn't know what career she's going to be in because it's already been determined for her or something like that. Or at the very least, that's what it seems to be implying. So she's probably going to be a major character who's probably going to change in that way and actually pursue something other than whatever's already been pre-selected for her. That's fairly obvious. I think one of the teachers is also an alchemist. And the way they use the alchemy, it's in practice, it's not dissimilar from Full Metal Alchemist, but it does kind of remind me quite a bit of Kamen Rider Wizard, which not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, so long as the plot is okay. I mean, Wizard was when it actually came to the plot. So hopefully, I don't know. I'm rambling. Yeah, I would have thought that my thoughts would have been a lot more in order. I don't know. I'm a bit scatterbrained right now. Not sure why. So yeah, but yeah, obviously I'm gonna keep watching it and hopefully it's good. Before I go though, that new Netflix One Piece show, does that count as tokusatsu? Let me know down in the comments, and if you guys can convince me that that's tokusatsu, I might actually cover that on a future First Impressions. Let me know. It does have special effects in it. Leave it in the comments. And until next time, I'm ProtoMet's. See ya!